Welcome to Simply Living with Ella. Um, so today I stepped on the weight and I realized that I had lost 10 pounds over the course of 5 weeks. And I was thinking of how I was able to do this and also how I can continue to maintain it, but also thinking about how that applies to the rest of my aspirations in terms of my pursuit of them. And perhaps there will be differences because they're in different domains, but that maybe somebody might find useful in terms of like what I had learned and how I had approached it. So in the beginning of the year, I think we all have dreams that we want to aspire to, physical, emotional, social, financial. And I think at least for the physical, I'm on track. And I was thinking what made it go on track, and with two things. The first was having a bare minimum threshold I could reach when times were low or when there was failure. And I think this is very important because I think in the beginning, New Year, everybody's at the gym. There's energy because there's this novelty that comes with starting something new and along with an excitement. And then February hits and you go to the gym and there's like the same people you used to see and a little bit more people that join. And I was thinking like what makes it work. And I think this bare minimum threshold kind of putting measures in place where on the days that you don't feel like going to the gym or on the days that you don't feel like going, you can give yourself the bare minimum to do, which is what, for example, go out and get some sunlight, take a 10-minute walk. And that's all you have to do without feeling any type of guilt because those days are going to come. And I think that's actually what is actually quite interesting for me. And so I have like little bars. For example, if the days are extremely bad where like there's no, why don't you just open the window or like drink water? If the days are like maybe 40-45%, I'm like, okay, go for a walk. So they are like little thresholds. So I'm like, the bare minimum I want to do when things are low is go for a walk. And it doesn't have to be like, the bare minimum is 10 minutes. If I'm able to do 15 minutes, that's okay, but that's it. And then the high yield is like going to the gym for like 45 minutes to an hour, actually working out. So that's one. So having a bare minimum threshold for failures because they are going to come. I don't know if failure is the right word. Times when things are low or when things happen in life that are unexpected and you can't really follow through with this all approach. It's like nothing or all when we're doing a lot of things, when it could be nothing in betweenish and all. And I think that in between is what we need to kind of establish for ourselves, where it's very clear in your head and then you can implement it when those times come. Because when those times come, it feels like there's a fog over you and you can't really pursue things in the way that you want to. But then if it's clear and explicitly stated, what is the bare minimum threshold that you want to implement when times are hard? And I think when that is clear, that helps. The second thing that helped me was consistency. I feel like everybody says, if you go on internet, everybody's saying, oh, apply consistency. But I think consistency, like applied where like it's something that is repeated and recurring, I think is said, but like how do you actually implement it? And I think having systems, and those systems are actually creating a structure that you are aware. And I think that's something that's interesting to me because I think the things that are important to you, I feel like you have to be mindful and intentional about it. And I know people say it, but like actually have it in the forefront of your mind. So then as you go through life, because I feel like when you go through life, sometimes it becomes routine and motion, but if you have the things that are important to you in mind and the action steps that you can take to get towards there, then that helps. So in terms of creating systems, for example, for physical activity or just journaling, it would be having structures that you're mindful about. For example, going to the gym, you want to have the date, time, and location that you want to go to the gym. And that comes from this book, Atomic Habits by James Sinclair, where if you have that and you make it something that is apparent and something that requires little resistance to achieve it, then it actually works. So for example, you want to know the day you're going to go to the gym. Like, are you going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Are you going to go 3 times a week? Make the day clear. And I know people say it, but actually making it clear the time that you want to go so that when the time comes, you can go. Because I feel like when things are not clear in your head, you're always arguing like, should I go to be or not to be? That is the question. And then the other is looking at the inputs. So for example, instead of thinking about the 10 pounds, and I feel like it's easier said than done. it's looking at, like, for example, this week, like, not how much did I lose, but this week, how much did I put in? And I think it's a fine navigation because I'm still kind of figuring that out. But if I'm tracking my steps or if I'm tracking my activities, I want to always increase how much energy I'm investing, like how much energy I'm investing in working out versus how much energy I'm investing looking at how much I lost. And I think if you focus on how much investment of energy you are putting into something, there's less anxiety because you're not really tied to what you want to see. But then what you want to see will come. But then if you put in the energy at the forefront, obviously the Y variable or the output is going to be higher because you've invested a lot at the forefront. And I think thinking about it that way has made me maybe see the results because I'm always focused. Can I increase the time that I'm working out? Can I go to failure when I'm working out? Can I don't know, drink more water? Can I explore ways that I can make things that are more healthy? And I think if I think about it from that way, it helps. I have some notes here that I'm looking at. And then yeah, so in terms of, for example, eating, could you have recipes that you go to every week? Like, what are the 3 top foods that you eat that you can go to? Can you make those food a little bit healthier? Maybe use a little bit less oil because oils are calorically dense, and although they're delicious, you can use less and still make it good. Can you bake it as opposed to frying it, or can you bake it a little bit and then fry it a little bit to get a little bit of that crispiness? Yeah, so I think those are the 2 things that I did that really helped me.